Hey there, welcome back. So in the previous video, I've given you an introduction to using GPUs in PyTorch and also, what is CUDA and how you can effectively use CUDA in PyTorch and so on. And in this video, let us just go through a demo, right? So we are going to, go through all these things that I have already written. And once we do that, we'll have a better understanding on, how you can create tensors in GPUs and so on. Now, before we get started, I just like to mention that I have created a separate environment for working with CUDA. So I'm not in the same environment that we had set up previously. So if I open my Anaconda Navigator over here, you can see that the environment which I'm in right now is PyTorch Videos CUDA. It's not PyTorch Videos, rather it's PyTorch Videos CUDA. And what's there inside this environment? It's pretty much, nothing. The only thing is that I've installed the CUDA toolkit as mentioned in the environment setup video. So you can just come here, developer.nvidia.com, you select your operating system and the version of Windows that you are running, and then it will basically install CUDA. And once you are done with that, then go to PyTorch, select your version of CUDA and all these different things, copy this, right, and go over here to environments, open the terminal for this environment and paste it. So once you do it, it will install the CUDA compliant version of PyTorch for you. And then I've just installed Jupyter over here and launched it, and this is how I got to this screen. So here now I'm connected to the PyTorch Videos CUDA environment where we have the CUDA setup ready. So if you don't have a GPU, don't bother to try all these things out, just watch me do it, right? Because whatever we are going to do in this course, all these things are possible to be run in CPUs. So let's get started. So as I mentioned in the previous video that all the functions and all the helper functions and libraries, data types and all these things which you have in PyTorch, for GPUs, all those things are available under the torch.CUDA package, right? So here in the torch.CUDA package, there is a function called isAvailable. So this basically returns a Boolean value, which signifies that whether there is a CUDA compliant device available in this system or not. So if I run it, I get true. And the reason is I have a GPU that is available in my system, and and that the CUDA toolkit is also installed and all this setup has also been done. So if you have not done it and you have directly installed the CUDA compliant version of PyTorch, and you even have a GPU, right? You have a GPU and you have just installed the CUDA compliant version, you haven't really installed the CUDA toolkit and all these things, then it is possible that you might get false over here. So make sure that you download the CUDA toolkit when you set it up, right? And once you do that, then only you'll get a value true, which means a CUDA compliant device is there. Now let us go through some more functions. So here we also have a function called the current device, which basically returns which device is currently selected or which GPU device is currently selected. So if I run it, I get the value as 0, so which means the device number 0 is actually selected. Now this is a bit confusing, you might, because if you have multiple different GPUs and all, you'll be confused a bit because you don't know, right? You can't interpret 0, what do we mean by 0 and so on. So to know that exactly which device it is, you can use this function, which is get device name, and you can just pass in 0 over here since this is the current device. So if I run it, you can see that I am in GeForce GTX 1660 Ti. If you have some other GPU, that will be there, right? And you can even check the number of CUDA compliant devices that you have installed in your system. So that you can do by calling this method called device count. Now I just have one GPU in my system, so I get the count as 1. If you have multiple GPUs, you'll get that many count, right? And there are also some functions which help you to check how much memory has been allocated to the tensors in GPUs, and also how much memory is reserved in GPUs and so on. So if I run these two functions, you can see that both of the values are 0, since till now we haven't really created any tensor in GPU. And in this notebook, whatever tensors which we have created previously, right? So all those tensors were created in CPU, and that's why these values are zeros. Now coming to the different devices that you would have in your system, right? So here you can see I've called a method called torch.device, and in that I have passed CUDA. So what is it? So this torch.device will basically return you a specific device So in your system, say you have 2 GPUs and you also have CUDA toolkit and everything installed. That means you have 2 CUDA compliant devices, right? And when you and basically say you need to get one of the devices, right? And maybe you want to perform some operations on any particular device, so you are willing to get one of the devices. So you can basically call the torch.device function and you can pass in CUDA. Now when you pass in CUDA, it will always return you the default GPU device. So if I run it, I'll get the default GPU device, which is returned by CUDA. And if you have multiple different GPU devices, so if you have 2 GPU devices, then the way you can get the instances is pretty much like this. So I have CUDA 0 and CUDA 1, and if I execute them, and I get these two things, right? CUDA 0 and CUDA 1. Now you might be confused a bit, since I already said that in my system there is just one GPU. But when I'm creating, like, how in the hell am I able to create 2 GPU, two instances of device, right, for CUDA 0 and CUDA 1? So basically, CUDA 0 is there in my system, but CUDA 1 is not there. But still, it will let me create the, this instance, which is CUDA 1, but it won't let me use it. And you will see it, you'll see it in action. So let us create a very simple tensor, and again we are calling the torch.tensor function, and this is going to be an 1D tensor. Now just remember one thing, that we are not using .CUDA, or we are not selecting any device where the tensor is getting created and so on. So this is why that this tensor that we are creating is going to be created in the CPU. So I'm running it, and you can see that we have a 1D tensor. Now in order to create this tensor in GPU, you need to pass in another parameter over here, which is called device. So in this device, you basically have to pass the device where you want to create. Now we had already created a couple of device instances here, like CUDA, which refers to the default device. We had CUDA 0, CUDA 1, right? So let us now create this X tensor in the device CUDA. So here you can see that we have a tensor created. It's again an 1D tensor, but this time the device is CUDA. So this tensor has been created in a GPU. So similarly, we can also use CUDA 0, since CUDA 0 is also, it's pretty much referring to the same device. So if I run it, again, this is created in the device CUDA 0. So you can see that for both CUDA and CUDA 0, the device selected is CUDA 0, right? And now, as I mentioned, that PyTorch had let me create the instance of the device 1, right? But if I try to use it, right, device CUDA 1, it will give me that it's not possible, right? Because the device itself is not there. So I've just defined it, but the underlying device is not present. But if you have more than one GPUs, then it will surely be possible for you. Now again, let us create a tensor in a CPU, which is X. So we are again calling torch.tensor. We are passing this 1 and 2, and it will create an 1D tensor, right? So now say if you want to, take this tensor from CPU and move it to a GPU device. So how can you do that? You can just call this x.CUDA function. So what x.CUDA will basically do is it will copy over this tensor from CPU to GPU, and it will copy to the default GPU that you would have. So if I execute it, you can see that xCUDA, a new tensor which got created in your default GPU device, which is CUDA 0. And if you want to copy it to a specific GPU device, that is also possible. And in this case, you just use the x.to function, and there you pass the device parameter. So here you can see that device is CUDA has been passed. And if I call it, again, the tensor got created in CUDA 0 GPU. Now all the different operations that you can do on top of tensors, which we have already explained in previous couple of videos, all those things are even possible in case of GPU tensors. So here I'm adding 5 to all the values in this tensor, and if I execute it, you can see that a new tensor got created, which is xCUDA sum, and it has 5 added to all the elements. And again, the initial tensor was created in a GPU, that's why the resultant tensor is also created in GPU. Now here we had executed this memory allocated and memory reserved, these two functions, right? And we had the value 0 as the return value. And since at that point of time we didn't have any tensors created, but now we have created couple of tensors, right? So now let us execute these same functions again and see if it's 0 or it's not. So here you can see that it's not exactly 0. and the reason is now we have many different tensors created. Now if you want to clear all this memory and all these different things, so that you can do by calling this function called torch.cuda.empty cache. So this is going to clean all the memory that you have and pretty much give you a fresh start. So it's like that. So this is pretty much all the different operations that you should know about in order to work with the GPUs in PyTorch. There are more operations, tons of more operations, but those are things that you would get to know more when you create more tensors on GPUs and so on. So for now, just know that you can create tensors in GPUs. You can select a specific device. The device context manager helps you to select the proper device. You can run different operations on top of GPUs. When you do any operations on tensors which are created in GPU, then those operations will run on GPU, and the resultant tensor will also be created in the GPU. So yeah, these are pretty much all you need to know for now, and we are at the end of the section 2. So starting section 3, now basically we have all the knowledge that we need in order to proceed with the demo of neural networks and all these things. So now we know PyTorch, we have idea about how the CUDA library and everything works. We have theoretical knowledge of neural networks, neurons, all the mathematical functions and everything. So finally, starting the next section, we'll start diving deeper into neural networks, which is basically the end goal of this entire course. So that's it, and I will see you in the next section.